Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today we're breaking ground on Mother Love Bone, kind of a pre-Pearl Jam band from Seattle. It involved Andrew Wood, who was their lead singer, also a very flamboyant personality. You know, he was one of those people that liked to press the limits and would do outrageous things. I've never really seen much having to do with him, but he kind of sounded like almost a David Lee Roth personality, but maybe not as obnoxious. You know, it's kind of like that. He was very good friends with Chris Cornell of Soundgarden. They were roommates for a while back, you know, in this early time, the late 80s. Unfortunately, he died of a heroin overdose in March of 1990. Their very first full-length LP was slated to come out soon after that, but then they put it off for a few months. It still did come out in 1990, but a few months later in August. The thing about this band is that it involved two people who went on to Pearl Jam, Jeff Ament, the bass player, and Stone Gossard, the rhythm guitar player. According to Andrew's girlfriend, many of the melodies that ended up on Pearl Jam 10 actually originated with Andrew Wood. So I don't know how true that is, you know, but I thought it was interesting. I do feel like it's a very connected music to the Pearl Jam sound. In fact, I like it better in a lot of ways. It's not quite the same, but it's similar, you know. And Pearl Jam, of course, is still going strong after 35 years in the business, which is pretty amazing. But this band, yeah, they didn't really get a chance to get off the ground. And I have been familiar with Mother Love Bone since back in the early 90s, but I never actually seen any footage of them. Now, this is a fan video that got put together using footage of the band. I don't think they're performing. I think it's just various appearances in public and maybe home movies, things like that. But I thought it'd be interesting to check it out. The song is Stargazer, which was technically on Apple, their first album, but it's not always on every copy, it seems like. So I'm not sure what that's about. But the music is pretty amazing to my ears, and I just thought it'd be worth focusing on it. Oh, and by the way, Temple of the Dog came out a couple years after that, fronted by Chris Cornell. That was a tribute album to Andrew Wood's life, just to give an idea of how important he was to other members of the Seattle music community. Adrian, what are your thoughts on Mother Love Bone or Pearl Jam or any of that?
I think a long time ago, I rented a CD from the library of Mother Love Bone, and I taped it. I don't know where the tape went. The CD went back to the library, of course.
Yeah, I bought that CD back when it was new. I listened to it the other day, but finding this video, I thought it'd be a good one to put on the channel, even though it's not necessarily official. So why don't we go ahead and look at this, and then we will discuss afterwards.
Alrighty.
Crazy, I'm the boy who defies all, yeah. Lift me higher than anyone, and hold me arms, yeah. Woman, she out of mind and simply out of soul. Oh, yeah. She gets me higher than anyone, and I miss her so do it. No, no, no. She dance around my pretty little cable car and fix me up with a guy. Why? Come on. I'll get dizzy. Why she done that to me? Man, why she done it to me? So I'm singing, Stargazer, you call the shots, and I take on. Stargazer, won't you get with me? Please, Stargazer, you call the shots, and I take on. Stargazer, won't you get with me? Oh, baby, please. Tell you what, Stargazer, you crying blue. Anything I've ever seen, it ain't as good as you, child. I'm not trying to push your feelings, but I know you hold me like a buddy in your hand. Cry for me and rub it in. Cry for the Savior and the prophet's son, yeah. Dream of me and Juliet. Hours and I coming back again, yeah. Cry for me and rub it in. Cry for the Savior and the prophet's son, yeah. Dream of me and Juliet. Oh, Santa, come back again.
Wow. Okay. What'd you think, Adrian?
Who is Julianne or Xana?
Yeah.
The Stargazer? Perhaps someone the singer misses. The chorus seems to indicate he wishes she was still there. Yeah, I'm also wondering if this would be called pre-grunge or early grunge.
Seems
It
like
was in the late 80s.
to me, it sounds like a classic rock band from 1989, 1990.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what I hear when I hear them. And yeah, I think they take some elements from 1980, in particular Guns N' Roses. They have a little bit of that sound. And I think maybe he even borrows a little bit from their singer, but not primarily. What I heard in Andrew was Steve Tyler, Robert Plant, singers like that, which is a good place to start. And of course, remember, this was their first LP. They had an EP out called Shine, and he did have a previous band called Malfunction. They were considered at one point the loudest band in the world, even louder than Motorhead. And I don't know if you noticed, but in one of those clips, I saw a Motorhead t-shirt on one of the guitar players. So,
Oh, okay.
well, let's go ahead. Well, let's look at the lyrics. It says, I'm crazy, crazy. I'm the boy who defies all. Lift me higher than anyone. Woman, she's out of mind and simply out of soul. She gets me higher than anyone, and I miss her so. Stargazer, you call the shots, and I'll take all. Won't you kick with me? Oh, please. You call the shots. Won't you kick with me? Dancer, I'm all wrong. She thinks she's young and wise, but no. She dances around my pretty little cable car and fixed me up with a guy. Why? How dare you do this? Why she done that to me ever? Why she done it to me? But then it says, it ain't as good as you, child. Like Stargazer, you cry in blue. Anything I've ever seen, it ain't as good as you, child. I'm not trying to push your feelings, but I know you hold me like butter in your hand. Cry for me and rub it in. Cry for the Savior and the prophet's son. Dream of me and Julianne. Xana, come back again. Let me see. Let's look at Genius for a moment, because sometimes you'll get some interpretations in there. Stargazer is the nickname for Xana Lafuente, who was his girlfriend at the time. So she's the one who said, hey, I hear a lot of his melodies on 10 there.
Yeah, the first verse seems to say, I'm a rebel or something like that, kind of vaguely. She out of mind and simply out of soul. So what are her qualifications? I guess she makes him feel good and he misses her, and that's enough.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah. The chorus is a plea for Stargazer to come back from perhaps death or...
Well, she didn't die, but you never know, maybe they split up from time to time, you know.
Yeah, that's true. I was just thinking of that too.
Well, he had some issues, as we know, with different drug addictions, especially heroin, it would seem. I don't know that much about that part of the story, but I do know that he was sober for, I don't know, a couple months, maybe 3 months before he had that heroin overdose that ended his life. Apparently he was trying. It sounds like there was some struggle going on there.
Heroin is a tough thing to kick.
That's what I keep hearing from everybody up there with cigarettes.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. Yeah, except for cigarettes, exactly.
Well, it's really a sad story because you got to wonder what would have happened, had he lived. Because I do think that the album Apple is a wonderful record. It's one of the best records. I mean, one of my favorite records to come out of the grunge era, even though it's kind of pre-grunge. But I mean, it was deeply influential to Pearl Jam, it would seem. And by the way, there is a picture within Apple. Maybe it's the back cover, I don't know, because I got the CD and it was within, you open the CD and there it is on the other side. It's the whole band around this little baby girl in the middle. Like, she's obviously the center. And you saw Andrew holding her up at times. And I believe that was his daughter. Maybe people can correct me if I'm wrong on that. And what strikes me about that is that picture would have been taken in either late 89 or early 90. And, 2 years later, Nirvana, Nevermind came out, and they had a little boy baby on their cover. This one came first, so it was probably an influence on the Nirvana cover. Just a long way around to say, I think that this was something that people need to know about if they like the music that was coming out of Seattle at that time, because it's well worth knowing about and being aware of. Well, if anybody would like to add information to this story, by all means, go right ahead. Meanwhile, folks, why don't you let us know what you thought of this? Let us know if you've heard it before, if you were familiar with it, or if this is brand new to you. Let me know if you knew these guys, because Seattle, the music scene right around that time, and there were a lot of people there. It was thriving. Would love to hear some personal accounts. If you have other suggestions for us, leave those below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed our presentation, please subscribe. All right, thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, take care, folks.
See you all later.